Could Uber's apparent savior end up leading to its downfall? Let's talk about it. Good morning, everybody. It's Joe time, and if you're not already a subscriber to this channel, please click my face right down there in the corner to subscribe and ring that bell icon so you know when I post new videos. You know, I was having a conversation yesterday with a driver, and one of those light bulbs went off in my head. And it occurred to me that the very thing that Uber is banking on to save this company, to lead this company to profit, may actually be the thing that will lead to its downfall. And what I'm talking about is a subject that a lot of us might just be sick and tired of hearing about, and that is autonomous cars. But here's the thing. Autonomous cars, as opposed to being the thing that might save this company, I think might actually cause it to crash and burn. Now here's why. One of the biggest expenses, as we know, is drivers. But drivers right now are the only thing that is leading to a profit with this company. The only thing. I know that they are getting money from investors, but without drivers right now, there is no company. So what Uber is doing is frantically trying to develop the driverless car. And we have gone back and forth with this. I personally don't feel that driverless cars are on the horizon anytime soon. However, let's say they get past all the issues and it's approved everywhere. And the government says, yes, these things are safe. And they are safer than human drivers, and they can go out on the road, they can go out on the interstates, they can go on the expressways, the highways, and these things end up being really, really effective. And Uber's thinking, oh man, now we can have a fleet of these things, and we don't have to pay drivers, we don't have to put up with all the driver problems. Now, let's put another issue aside. That issue of who's going to maintain these cars, who's going to own the cars. That is going to be really expensive for them. Let's put that aside. Let's say that they solve that. Now, people start to abuse, damage, vandalize the cars. We're going to put that on the shelf. Now, let's say that people get sick in the cars and they throw up. We're going to put that on the shelf. Now, we are shelving a lot of things. We are taking so many of the obvious problems with driverless cars, and we're assuming Uber is going to get past all of them. I think that is a major league assumption. I think that is not jumping to conclusions. That is jumping across the Grand Canyon to conclusions. In other words, we're concluding that they are somehow going to get past all that. Imagine that. Imagine all the things I just talked about. Is it even possible that they can get over all those hurdles? Let's say they do. They are still going to have what I just realized, and I don't know why, because it was staring me in the face, the biggest hurdle of all. Private ownership. Now think about this. So these driverless cars, they overcome all those things, and why will I not just buy a driverless car? Now I know there are some reasons that people use Uber. In larger cities like New York, you just don't want to deal with car ownership. You don't want to deal with parking the car. You don't want to deal with the traffic and all that. Now, let's say, with the exception of the people that live in the real tight, dense metropolitan areas that just don't have a place to keep a car, what about people that say, yeah, I commute into the city every day and I don't want to pay for parking, or I don't want to deal with the hassle of trying to find a parking space when I get there? Because let's face it, parking is at a premium in cities. All right? Now, let's look at the other people. The people that use Uber because, well, I am going to be out. I'm going to be having a good time with my friends. I'm going to be drinking. I don't want to drive when I'm drinking. Or let's say it's, one of these bachelorette parties where you have, 4 young women all going out together to whoop it up, and none of them want to be driving. So I buy my own driverless car. It takes care of all those problems. Hey, I'm going to be drinking tonight. I'm going to take my driverless car. I'm going to send it home. Why not? It's driverless. I don't have to worry about finding a parking space. If driverless cars can manage all that stuff on their own, why can't I just send it home on its own? And when I'm drunk at 2 in the morning, kind of like the Batmobile, all I'm going to do is call for my car. 15 minutes, there's my car. I hop in, and my driverless car takes me home. The driverless car takes all of these ladies. It doesn't have to be Uber's driverless car. It's my driverless car. And before you say, oh no, proprietary rights, they're not going to sell them to private individuals. Hogwash. Baloney fiddlesticks. The great thing about free enterprise, the great thing about capitalism is it is hard to contain it. Why do you think so many companies right now are trying to develop driverless cars? Do you think that Honda, Toyota, GM, Tesla, they're developing these cars so they can only sell a few of them to a company like Uber or Lyft? Or do you think they're doing it so they can only operate their own rideshare? No. They want to sell these. They don't want to sell them in the thousands. They want to sell them in the millions. They want to sell these cars to the average Joe. People like you and me. Right now, they're selling cars. Why would they stop doing that? Why would they stop selling cars? So yeah, Uber may have some proprietary rights over what they develop. And they're going to soon realize, oh geez, we have to follow the Microsoft route. We're going to have to license this stuff or sell it outright. Or maybe they're just going to realize, holy cow, we thought we had something great. And Tesla came up with their own system, and Toyota came up with their own system, and GM came up with their own system. Think about it. Every time something in the auto industry comes along, everybody else picks it up. They don't let only one company have exclusivity over those products. And I'm telling you that when driverless cars, should they come into being and widespread use, and now I'm not just talking about, these tests when you need to have a driver. If you have to have a driver in the front seat at all times, it's not a driverless car. And then all bets are off. Everything's off the table, because what's Uber saving? They still have to pay that driver, plus they have to maintain their own fleet of cars. They don't want to do that. The whole concept was, we can get rid of those nasty drivers. Boy, we can get them out of our hair. No. They develop driverless cars. Those things are not going to be contained. It's going to be like those dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. They thought they can control them and manage them, and you can't. Free enterprise will not allow it. And that's what occurred to me, that Uber is not going to be able to make driverless cars and be the only ones that have driverless cars. And once I have my own driverless car, all those reasons for using Uber go out the window. Well, I live in Manhattan. You know how hard it is to have a car in Manhattan? Yeah, but you live on Long Island, right? So you park your car at your house, you have your car drive you to your job, and then it drives back home. Then it comes and gets you at the end of the day. I don't know why. Now, I'm giving extreme examples, okay? New Yorkers might still use mass transit, let's face it. But the majority of the country, where the majority of Uber riders live, they're going to see the light. And they're going to have the best of both worlds. I have private car ownership for when I want to do the fun things that I want to do, because I have to assume that driverless cars are not always going to be driverless. They're going to have a function where you can, click it over to driver mode, and you can still do the things you like to do and cruise around and have fun with your friends and all that. But the times you want to use it in driverless mode, I know when I would do that. I drive to Florida a lot. That is a long haul, driving all the way across the country from Wisconsin all the way down to Florida. I'm kicking back, man. I'm kicking that into automatic mode, and I'm cruising. I'm going the straight, 24 hours, whatever it is. Why not? I can sit there and eat my lunch. I can take a snooze in the seat. It's self-driving. If self-driving cars are everything they claim to be, Uber better watch out. because I think they're cutting their own throat. Well, that's the way I see it. What do you think? Am I missing something? As always, I encourage you to leave your comments down below. Please like and share the videos. If you haven't already, subscribe and ring that bell icon so you know when I post new videos. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Mark with UberHints.